that I couldn't get the live stream to work while we had people waiting. I've never gone live on YouTube before for this channel, so I'm just trying to get used to everything. So I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes to try to get the notification to come on into the lobby. I'm going to go ahead and look at my main screen here just to see who is on. So let me just go back to this. Yeah, it's just a little frustrating when you're trying to do stuff like this and then technical difficulties happen. So yeah, see if I can pull up other things. Maybe share. No, just keep doing this. All right. Let me go to my control center. I think that's what it is. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm using my phone to go live on this first ever live video. I wanted to give you guys a chance just to get to know me, who I am. My name is Jonathan Cox, and I am the composer behind this channel, Film Score Life. I'm trying to remember why I wanted to call it Film Score Life to begin with. I've always loved movies. I've always connected to the music behind the movies. And in a little bit, I'll talk about some of my favorite composers who have really inspired me. I'll walk through the equipment that I use, how I got started in music, just kind of that thing. Oh, we got somebody. I thank you very much, Brave. And by the way, this channel, I started in 2021, but it wasn't until this year that I really experienced massive growth. Well, when I say the biggest growth happened last year, technically, because I just hit 1,000 subscribers on the 10th of July. So woo-woo! And I was so excited about hitting 1,000 subscribers because I was really wanting to reach the world with my music. Obviously, I would love to do this for a living. I would love to get my music out there, to compose for movies. But I started this channel with some music that I had written, and it didn't really take off until I started doing concept albums. And so the first concept album I started was Batman 2. And if you're familiar with Batman, the music behind it, definite, like going back to maybe not the 60s Batman that I'm thinking, but Danny Elfman, who composed the 1989, I think it was 89, Batman. And ever since I heard that sound for Batman, it's kind of locked in there. The really high tremolo, the violins, the harmonics. Danny Elfman is he's one of my favorite all-time composers. Travis, yes, I love Superman. I love Superman. In fact, Superman is my favorite comic book character. In fact, I have a tattoo that is an embarrassment. All right, can I guys tell you a story that you're not supposed to repeat to anybody? I'm just kidding, it's live. This tattoo right here was going to be the Superman logo. It was going to be the Superman logo. I had never gotten a tattoo before. I went to get a tattoo at a place, and I didn't have enough food to eat, so I had a tattoo started of the Superman logo, and he starts going, and it hurt, but it wasn't that bad. So I pulled up my phone. I was getting ready to start on this, while he finished it up, and then my blood pressure dropped, and I passed out. And I wish he would have finished this while I was out, but he said that wouldn't have been moral. So I woke up, I was like snoring, and ate some food, and yeah. So I couldn't finish my tattoo, and my heart rate dropped down to like 23 beats per minute. So this is a very embarrassing story. It should be Superman, but I am not Superman, which is why I passed out. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Danny Elfman, one of my favorites. In fact, he composed a movie called Black Beauty, and that song, the intro, opening titles, is one of my favorite all-time music. Yeah, that's my tattoo story. So it's unfinished. It looks like some type of hieroglyphic, some Egyptian thing. I don't know, but it's a great conversation starter. So I got into music when I was about 9 years old. I started really connecting the dots with composers. So my dad got, now go back to 1993. My dad got a keyboard called a Korg i3 workstation. And on this thing, you could hit record, you could record drum parts, bass parts, guitar, strings, any instrument you could think of. And it, it's very dated. It sounded very old. But I got into, when I was 9 years old, recording like that. So the old Korg i3s, you could, set the tempo, hit the C major, and it would start playing all these instrumental responses to C major. And so I'd like just mash just random chords, and the music would respond to it. And I actually came up with some different chords that way. So started on the Korg i3. A lot of you don't know I'm a drummer. Drums are my main instrument. It's my favorite instrument. Sorry, this is a Nixon watch. Somebody said that. Yeah, I'm not bougie enough with my subscribers to do the super chats yet. I mean, if you want to do a super chat, great, but I'll respond to all your comments. But anyways, so that's how I started with recording when I was 9 years old. Been playing drums ever since I was 2 years old. I come from a musical family. My mother and father, really big into church. So I started playing drums at a really young age with them. So getting a sense of rhythm, and then just getting into John Williams. I would say, in my opinion, John Williams is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. I love the Harry Potter soundtrack. I love Superman. I love Indiana Jones. I love Star Wars. Really, John Williams and what he did in that early music really just kind of impacted me in a way to be able to sense what kind of chord progressions go with certain types of mood. Danger, like how do you create, dark, suspenseful sounding music? How do you go with romantic, sweeping strings? Your most hated instrument? Maybe the tambourine, because at church sometimes people will play the tambourine and it might be a little loud. Mozart, yes, I love classical music. In fact, when I was about 12 years old until 17, I would sleep at night to 89.9, which is the classical station. Let me see if I can, instead of going to my phone for the comments, let me see if I can go here. Let's see, live, there we go. Can I go to the chat? Let me see. Oh, there we go. I can see chats. I guess I can respond here, but I don't like looking over here to the right side. If I could score any type of film, what would it be? Honestly, it could be romantic, because romantic, I feel like I do better with very sentimental kind of music. In fact, Alan Silvestri is one of my favorite composers. He's really influenced me with certain melodies, string lines, piano. I love the movie Patch Adams. I don't think that's Alan Silvestri, but Alan Silvestri did the Forrest Gump. And I'm getting some more questions. Have you ever come across Ethiopian instruments? No. In fact, in a little bit, I was going to get into my sound libraries that I use. I use Museo. Museo has a ton of instruments. You could go to Ireland has like its own, Africa has its own thing, India has its own thing. But yeah, you can definitely get into really deep waters with these music libraries. Really, what I've gotten recently is Contact. So that's Kontakt, Contact Ultimate, which there's so many instruments, it's kind of overwhelming. You could get lost in all of them. Jay, you say, show me what you got. Who are you? My name is Jonathan Cox. I'm the composer for Film Score Life. Just kind of going through my history, how I got started into making music, and some of my favorite composers. Thomas Newman, I would say I probably listen to him the most. I love, gosh, I'm kind of on the spot. I'm doing all this on the top of my head. But the movie about the prison, I'm totally glitching right now. What's the movie? What's the movie about the prison? Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption, amazing. How he uses his horns and the clashing chords with his strings. Yeah, that's massive. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tornado. My heart for film score music definitely comes through for the Superman. In fact, that was the concept album that really made my channel take off. Because I did some Batman 2, and then I just felt like I was getting like tons of subscribers out of the blue. And then before I knew it, I was like 100, 200, 300, 400. And then, of course, just celebrated 1,000 subscribers on the 10th of July. You know, one of the things that's kind of frustrating is my watch hours. So to be monetized, you have to hit 4,000 watch hours in a year. So I hit 1,000 subscribers, but I'm still not monetized because I don't have my hours count up. The highest my hours were in a year was 3,995 hours. I was 5 hours away since I hit 1,000 subscribers. I was 5 hours away from being monetized. And then the next day, apparently within that year, I wasn't. I kept falling and falling. And now it's kind of discouraging because I'm trying to get my watch hours up. But the live videos, I'm live for 12 minutes. So everyone who is watching right now, you are helping my watch hours count go up, because YouTube won't kill you. It won't like kill your channel monetization if you fall below 4,000 watch hours. But I think if you fall way below that, they'll hit you. I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you very much. Wanting to do this for a living, you got to start somewhere. I was really hoping James Gunn or somebody that works with him would come across some of my concept albums for Superman, but also the Lanterns. If you guys haven't checked that out, I've started an entire playlist for the DCU Gods and Monsters universe with James Gunn. So all of my Lanterns, my Supergirl, a couple of scores that I've done for that, and then of course the Joker theme, Batman 2. Yeah, so if you haven't had a chance yet, check out my playlists that are on there, and that will help me get my watch hours up. What I was hoping to do was give you a little taste of one of my newest scores that I've not released yet, but okay, let me just tell you something. It's hard for me sometimes to stay on topic. I might be ADD, I don't know. But the Steel versus Steel, it's on my channel, Steel versus Steel. And my good friend, hey, what's up? So for you OG, the OG subscribers that I have that have been walking with me ever since my channel started to blow up, I appreciate you so much. In fact, there's some people that used to comment all the time, and I don't see them anymore. So I'm wondering, I'm hoping they're alive, that they're not dead. But Neuroverse Music, Madhawk, Brave, you guys have been here near the beginning, so I appreciate you so much. Let me see this. Yes, you are an OG. Kelowna, and I know, I just don't know if you gad me to bring you the one on my RV2. Psycho Sniper, I'm not really sure what you just said. But if you guys want, I was going to show you a little snippet of my new song, Steel versus Steel. I released a teaser already, but the teaser, I've already started to change it. So, do you guys want to hear it? Just give me a second. I'm going to turn it up. Let's see if you guys can hear it very good on. So I'm going to get better with streaming. I have some equipment to stream, but this is really just kind of a first time, just introduction thing. We will change how we do this, but yeah, I'm downloading it right now. So let me set up Steel versus Steel. And if you like this format, by the way, if I release a new song, if you'd like some behind the scenes of kind of what inspired me to write it, let me know in the comments, because I don't have to just release my music. If you guys want to talk to me, or we talk about stuff, I would love the interaction. And once again, it helps my hour count. Okay, Pip Maple. My sister owns Jesset Records in New York and has a lot of contacts in the industry. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, if I could get somebody to help push my music out there. One of my weaknesses, I think, is some of my mixing. I wish I could get better with mixing, so it's going to take time. All right, let's see what this sounds like, y'all. And before I click play, imagine Ultraman. Ultraman is getting ready to fight Superman. I have a dream, and it was going to be Henry Cavill. And if you haven't seen Deadpool yet, Henry Cavill did a cameo as Wolverine, and everybody lost it because he's my favorite Superman. I mean, he's the OG as well. I know he's not Christopher Reeves, but he's my favorite modern Superman. And so he's getting ready to fight Ultraman. The question is, who is Ultraman, or who is Bizarro? If James Gunn does a little different, it's either going to be Bizarro or Ultraman, or maybe a combination of both. But I wanted a theme that's really intense, really scary kind of, and you think somebody could actually die. So without further ado, I'm going to play the very intro of Steel versus Steel. Here we go. Let me see if I can hear it. 1 second. Oh, I know what it is. I haven't turned the settings on to the speakers yet. 1 second. Sound. IMAX speakers. There we go. All right, here we go. This is so awesome. Whoa, I just heard my echo. How am I hearing an echo? Oh, because I'm watching the thing. All right, here we go. Yes. Can you hear it? That's it. I hope you guys liked it. What do you think? Do you like where I'm going with it? There's going to be this really dark place where either Ultraman or Bizarro, whoever the bad guy is, has Superman down for the count, or I would really picture somebody helping Superman fight, whether it's Supergirl or Hot Girl or Metamorpho or Mr. Terrific, and they're just like getting overwhelmed, and you think somebody's getting ready to die, and then Superman just absolutely owns the guy. So I'm so sorry, Betta. I can't tell. Put kidnapping. Yeah, honestly, I don't. I'm just having trouble understanding. All right, so Madhawk, you said this is insane. The percussion is so realistic, and the brass. What kind of patch do you use? Okay, let me walk you guys through some of my technology. Sound good? All right, I'm gonna flip this around. All right, 1 second. Oh, man, you guys get to see me in the most unflattering, unflattering ways. Hold on 1 second. All right. Okay. This is the stream that I tried to start, and I thought that I could just, click a button to start live, but I couldn't. So I had to abandon that stream. So this was me trying to get through. All right, so let's just start here. When it comes to recording, you need a powerful device. This is what I had been using. But this standard Mac, it was just not powerful enough to handle the libraries of Museo and Contact. It was just starting to slow down. I would overwhelm the system. So I got the M3 Max Pro from Apple, and so far this thing's been doing really, really good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. This is actually what you just heard. Everything you just heard was done on Logic Pro X. And the libraries that I use, these are my bounces, so you can't really see specifically what I was using. But as you can see, this is kind of just like what it looks like. This is something I worked on yesterday, this intro. I love those chords in the beginning so much. I love brass. And then we've got the main brass, and then we've got strings, pads, orchestra chords. So got some runs in there from the flutes. I got cymbal swells, timpani rolls, timpani hits. This might be more brass, and then some voices. So let me just show you. Let's do this. Actually, let me just open up a. All right, so Museo is one of the libraries that I use. And Museo, I'm telling you, there's so many things. You could spend like all day on here looking for stuff, but let's just say you want to look up brass. So you've got core center brass, deep horns, deccan horn, low brass, pro. Like if you just go to pro, look at all these options you have. The 12 horn ensemble legato, I use that a lot for like the lead horn parts. You got sustain, so if you want to do like pads of the horns, you got 4 horns. Everything has its own unique thing. I can do a walkthrough at a later date where maybe I even just lay out how do I start a song from start to finish. But as you can see, tons of stuff, and then like even percussion. So if you just go to percussion, there's epic, metal, orchestral, tonal. You have like big impacts, like all this stuff that you could use. So that's Museo. The other library that I really like to use is Contact. So if you just go in here, you can Native Instruments, Contact 7. All right, so this is Contact, huge library as well. If you get native instruments, you can actually purchase all these. You could download them. I'm really blessed. So the church I work at, I do a lot of tracking for worship. So having libraries, and of course, they'll throw in a lot of this extra stuff that I don't necessarily use for church, but amazing guitar parts, bass guitar, drums. Like, even though I have a full worship team, there are some times where the guitars can't be there, the drums can't be there, the keyboardist can't be there. And I'll like record strings and all that stuff back here, and then I use it with tracks. So a lot of crossover from what I do for a living into this as a hobby. But all of my strings, so this is Cinebrass, what you just saw, Cinematic Studio solo strings. So, like, if you want to listen to really good cellos, violins, that's really good high quality stuff. Cinematic Studio strings. This has the cellos, the violas, the basses, the first violin, second violins. You can do from short staccato to legato. Got Cloud Supply, which is like a bunch of pads. Uh, Farlight, Different Contact, Ethereal Earth, Damage, Piano Colors. Honestly, you could play for years and still not touch everything. So those are my libraries, and this is how I record everything into Logic Pro and then just bounce it to my files. So we go back to me. So that is the equipment that I use. I'm self-taught. I didn't take any classes or anything like that. I have very limited experience when it comes to recording. It's just kind of trial and error. When it comes to my music background, I did a couple classes of music theory, but I didn't graduate after doing all the music theory classes. A lot of what I know is just from playing by ear. And honestly, playing by ear has its pluses, but it also has some downsides. Sometimes I would really love to expand my knowledge with chords, different progressions, scales, but it helps to know music theory, to be able to read music. That's something I'm going to be working on in the future. But do you guys have any questions for me? The chat's been kind of quiet, but yeah, I just want to give you an opportunity to ask me any questions of who I am, how I got started, what I like to do, hobbies, anything like that. Go ahead. If you guys are going to take some time, let me just read another comment. I don't usually comment, but been following your channel since the Batman Part 2 themes and back when Superman Legacy was still, yeah. Yeah, so you're an OG too as well, Tornado. I really appreciate it because I could not believe how fast my channel started to blow up since those concept albums. And it really means a lot to me, especially for, like, I guess maybe it was 2 years where my channel, I would get excited for 20 views. How do you begin sketching out your themes? Do you work vertically or horizontally? Now, Tornado, can you let me know what you mean by vertically versus horizontally? Mad Hawk Moody, I've been composing for 4 years, working on playing by ear. Do you have a MIDI controller or do you just click and drag? Ah, good question. Let me show you. Okay, so this is my MIDI controller. It's the Control S88. It's the new one by Native Instruments, and I love it because it's linked to Logic Pro. So, like, all of the menus that you saw, I can do it from here. I can scroll through my different options, and then I can select whatever I want. But this keyboard is amazing. So I've been using, before this, I was using my Yamaha MOX F8, which is a great keyboard. And yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Let me circle back to that. But anyways, I was using that as a MIDI controller, but this right here, the response is so much better. Plus, I don't annoy people when I have to record. Just hitting the keys in this office is enough to drive people crazy in the next room. So this right here dampens the amount of what you hear. The Yamaha MOX F8 keyboard that I used before this was what if you go to my channel, click on oldest videos, and the quality in instruments have just gotten so much better. I might do an old reaction video of some of my older songs. And I've thought about redoing some of the older songs with this newer technology to see what it would sound like. But Beyond Part 1, Beyond Part 2, Gabriella, let's see, Fall Moonlight, all of that was done on my MOX F8, the Yamaha keyboard. And I'm telling you, if you don't have a lot of money and you want to start out on a sequencer, if you don't have like Logic Pro, that Yamaha keyboard, you can record in that. So if at the very beginning of this video, I was telling you about the Korg i3 that my dad got in 1993, well, that's how I got the recording different tracks from that keyboard. And then I graduated to the Yamaha MOX F8. And then I've just graduated into the Logic Pro. All right, let me see. Tornado. By that, I mean building up a piece with multiple instrument parts and sections vertically across different tracks, or write a complete theme on one sketch track horizontally before building it out. Okay, yeah, great question. It depends on the project. For example, when I wrote Fall Moonlight, go back and listen to it. I wrote that fully on the grand piano here at the church at first. I walked through everything. I learned it, practiced it, and recorded it into some piano mics. And then what I did was I took that finished piece, imported it into a recording program called Cakewalk, I think. And then I used the MIDI samples from the Yamaha MOX F8 for strings, pizzicato stuff, and put some reverb on it, changed the attack to get the strings sounding as real as I could. So when you listen to Fall Moonlight, it's pretty amazing considering what I had to work with, that the strings still sounded as good as it was. But with the Superman stuff, that I would start just coming in and going to Cinematic Studio Strings and starting with the cellos. Cinematic Studio Strings is one library, and then there's Cinematic Studio Solo. Solo is just one single instrument, but the Cinematic Studio Strings, the cellos sound so good. And I would just start playing melody lines with that. And that's how I came up with some of the melodies. Or I would go into Contact and play some different pads or maybe even horn lines, and I would build from there. So some days I would start from scratch, playing the piano, nail down the melody and be like, this is what I want, this is the hook. And then I would go in and add strings, or I would just start with strings, pick out, man, I love this melody, and then record it so I don't lose it, and then just build and build and build, go to the basses. So in my template, I will usually have a first violins, which is legato, put a little bit of reverb on it, and I'll do a video with a walkthrough of recording some stuff at another time, but put some reverb on it, do second violins, do the cellos, and then I would do a cello in the lower octaves, the basses in the lower octave, and that's where I would get a lot of my bass levels in some of the songs to give it that bottom end. So, and I would just double it. Have 2 tracks, hit record, have the cello in one track, the bass in the other track, and then just everything I'm doing. And with the modulation wheel, controlling the volume. And with strings, to try to play realistically with strings, you can't just do a bunch of runs in the legato patch, because then the chord or the notes are going to run together and it's not going to sound real. And if you just play just really sporadically, and the staccatos, they're not, or stactissimos, you're just going to be limited in what it sounds like. So if you want some advice on how to get your orchestral instruments to sound real, listen to a lot of music scores and just kind of pay attention to what the strings are doing. And like, for example, Yanni is one of my big influences as well. And the last thing I heard, Yanni doesn't read music. So that struck a chord with me, because I can read like a chord chart, like sheet music, but I can't read like treble clef stuff. It would take forever. Years ago, I started to, when I was in college doing marching band, I played drum set in marching band. Yeah, any other questions? I have an idea. What are some of your favorite songs that I did for the Superman album? Oh wow, you're giving me more questions. And I know there's a delay here, so it's like 17 seconds. Great answer, thanks. You produce a really full sound, which is impressive. Any tips on mixing? So in Logic Pro, I have a, let me show you. All right, so when I was done laying this out, I saved an unmastered view of this. So steel versus steel, intro and middle. I saved it as unmastered, and then what I did was I go into Ozone, which in your master track, if you just, for example, just click on this. This is all the effects you can put on it. So whatever you have downloaded or purchased that lives on your computer, you're going to find it here. So Isotope is the brand or whatever. And so if I wanted to master something, I would go here. Elements is my favorite as of right now. It used to be Ozone 10, but this is the newer one. So you just hit stereo. And what it does, I'm guessing, is it uses AI to listen to your music and soften some of the harsher areas. So this song that I wrote, I've already got stuff mastered on it, but you would start playing the music and then start listening, and then it will make tweaks. And then let me just show you what it looks like after you've already done something. All right, so this is what it went with. I think it started out on Cinematic, and it gave me a sample of what this would be. Let me see what this sounds like. Settings, audio, because I'm going to have this play over my speakers instead. So MacBook Pro speakers. Okay, cool. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to show you just starting with the intro and show you what it sounds like when you have this stuff. So EDM, I think it's just electronica music, but so this is that intro again. And then I can click to different settings, and you can hear the difference. I know it's quieter because I'm on. All right, so this is how it's going, and then if you click on Cinematic, so it changes the quality. See how it's more clear here? So I actually settled on this one, and then you gotta like watch stuff like your gain. You don't want to clip. So see how I'm hovering right here at minus 0.9? I reset it. So I'm never going to hit 0. So I'm actually -2 here. And so when I sent this to myself and listened to it, it sounded pretty good. And there are some times where my mix just doesn't sound good, and I don't want to like release it for people because um, I'm kind of a perfectionist. But there's some other YouTube channels out there where people do their own compositions and they've got amazing mixes. I wish I could connect with somebody that does mastering, mixing and mastering, and maybe do some collaborations there because I would like to know what my mixes would sound like done professionally. All right, let's see. How did you learn to play the keys if you were self-taught? Do you plan on doing commissions and stuff? Fiverr is an excellent place to start. So Madhawk Moody, I have a Fiverr account and I have been selling my music. I've actually, I started last year and I don't even mind telling you this. I've sold about $700 worth of music on Fiverr. Fiverr does take a chunk of what you make, but people can leave reviews, and there's like a record so people can see that, hey, my customers are happy and they like what I gave them, and then it just helps build. So yeah, I use Fiverr to sell my commissions. If you go to my YouTube channel, if you go to the links in the about section, you can see my Fiverr link. So if anybody's interested, right now I'm charging $50 for a song, and that's usually about 2 to 3 minutes. I have done longer pieces that will cost a little bit more. I'm the composer, the sole composer for Galactic Armory. So if you want to check Galactic Armory out on YouTube, they do a lot of cosplay. I actually don't even really know how to say that word. Cosplay of like Halo stuff, Star Wars stuff, but I compose for all of their music. So if you want to check some of my music out over there, just background music. There's been a few Star Wars types sounds of music. So if you like Star Wars, if you like John Williams, I do a very, very modest attempt at not doing a cover of Star Wars stuff, but actually listening to John Williams' Star Wars sound and trying to create my own Star Wars sound. So check out Galactic Armory to hear, and if you go to their shorts, you'll see some of my more elaborate songs on there. Do you plan to do end credits track? Hey, Camille, you've been a fan for a while now too. I remember seeing you pop up. An end credits track? Yes. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep doing Superman stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to ever not do Superman, but I do want to branch into other things. That's why I'm starting Supergirl. That's why I'm starting Lanterns. My daughter Addison wants me to do Avatar 3, so expect an Avatar 3 concept album in the future as well. John Williams is just too much of a beast. I thought about doing a Star Trek kind of, or not, sorry, my bad, Star Wars type of concept soundtrack, but I don't feel like I would do it any justice just based on how amazing he is. Every song he does is like incredible and intense. Let me see. Do you guys have any other questions? Any other questions? Do you guys like the Batman 2 stuff that I've done, or the Brave and the Bold? Brave and the Bold, I did a questionnaire just to see what you guys were interested in hearing. Brave and the Bold was one of them, and you guys actually said more Batman 2 Brave and the Bold stuff, but it doesn't do as well as the Superman stuff. So I don't know what it is. A lot of my subscribers want Batman stuff, but when I put it out there, it just doesn't get a lot of views. Brandon, thanks for commenting. First, I have to say I love your music. Very emotional and impactful scores. Love it, man. Second, I am working on a film and would love if we could work on something together in the future score-wise. Brandon, absolutely, man. I help. There's people doing Superman projects. I'm working 2 Superman projects right now as we speak. I'm getting ready to score a scene with Batman and Superman together in a scene where they're on top of a building talking about the state of Gotham City and how Superman wants to help, but Batman doesn't really want him to step in his turf. But when I'm done with that one, I'll do a release so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But really good. I work with a very talented group of people. Glorious Pictures is on Instagram if you want to check him out. J Studios, I'm getting ready to do something with him. I don't know if he has a huge channel yet, but I'm going to start scoring for him as well. Let's see. But yeah, Brandon, if you want to go to my Fiverr, if you have a request, or if you just want to message me on Instagram, I'm on Instagram. That's how you can get in touch with me, because YouTube doesn't have YouTube messaging or anything like that. But Instagram, my account is jcox.drummer. But links in my YouTube description if you ever have a question, Brandon, if you want to work with me, message me on there. Let's see. Camille, that'd be awesome. And when you tossed a John Williams Superman march, it was mesmerizing. Oh, yeah. That was that one of the side projects that I did? Or are you talking about one of the Superman 2025 songs? The Batman tracks are truly wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Gaetano, I can't say his name either, but his work is amazing as well. In fact, he has come the closest to John Williams from his Rogue One soundtrack. I think that's the closest to John Williams you can get. I love that. Oh, it's a Batman film. All right, Brandon. Yeah. I scored somebody was doing a Batman project, just a personal one, where he does like his own acting and everything, and I did a theme for him as well. Space Battle. Oh, right. So I put in a little taste of John Williams' Superman theme in that. The bum 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 bum. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more of that. I just don't want to get hit with copyright stuff, but some of his OG themes, like you can't. I just want to do it justice, but it's already perfect. It'd be like me trying to attempt Hans Zimmer stuff. If you have yet to check it out, I did a little taste of let's see, The Gladiator, Hans Zimmer, because Gladiator 2 is coming out. It's not going to be Hans Zimmer doing the music for it, but I think Hans Zimmer's Gladiator soundtrack is one of the best of all time. Let's see. The Batman Part 2 is great because you build on the theme and atmosphere. The guy kind of got you. I'm going to learn to say his name. Okay, I'm going to learn to say his name. I'd prefer if you learned more into the established theme for certain tracks to root the score. So Batman Part 2 was when I had just started with Cinematic Studio Strings. I hadn't really learned all of the mastering tips yet. I hadn't been using Ozone or anything like that. So if you listen to the Batman 2 album, the sound quality and instruments have gotten a lot better since then. So I might even revisit some Batman 2 since I've got newer libraries to make it sound a little better. Wow, we've been going for 49 minutes. This hopefully will help my hours go up. What do you think of the Arrowverse soundtracks by Blake Neely? I actually haven't heard it, Madhawk. I have not checked it out. Just starting with, so Batman 2 was the first concept album, and then Superman 2025. And then I just dabbled just a little bit in Brave and the Bold, Supergirl. I've had people request, can you do Lanterns? So I started doing Lanterns. So if you guys have some different concept albums, let me know, because I just want to be more interactive with my audience. I want to give you guys what you want as well. I'm getting tons of subscribers, but like I said, just keeping people engaged. Um, there's some of these composer channels that they have like 50,000 subscribers. What's up, Baby Spielberg? All right, so everybody, Baby Spielberg is Abraham, and you can find him on Instagram. He's the one that did the thumbnail for my Superman 2025 Steel versus Steel. So I told him, I was like, hey man, I have this idea. I would love Henry Cavill to be Ultraman or Bizarro, whatever James Gunn decides to do. And I saw a couple of rumors saying Henry Cavill was going to be the whatever the bad guy was. Um, and then some people were like, no, he's not going to be it. You know, David's just going to play himself. And so, whatever. Either way, I think Henry Cavill would be the best reveal ever as the evil Superman clone that Lex Luthor creates. So Abe, Baby Spielberg, he did a thumbnail of one side of the face is David, and then the other side is, of course, Henry Cavill. And it looks awesome if you guys want to check it out. There are some great bones for future projects, especially The Flash. Yes, so The Flash, I thought about doing that too. I like the Flash. I guess the TV show music was really, really, really good. Oh, also so Baby Spielberg, look him up on Instagram. I'm currently scoring for him a project called High Wraith, and it's a futuristic. It's like Star Wars meets a Western meets Solo meets I don't know. What would you say, Baby Spielberg? It's kind of like all those things, but a really cool plot. I've been doing some of the music for it already. It's in the early stages of production. They've been getting casting for some of the roles, but yeah, that'll be like, oh, somebody took their message back. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Thank you very much, Tornado. Thanks for joining me. Hey, Pawan, so you are also one of the OG people. Okay, Supernatural Space Western. Yeah, it's really good. He's the production that I've been telling you guys about with Glorious Pictures. He does a lot of the computer animation on Instagram, and he works as well with Baby Spielberg. Henry would be a huge surprise. Yes! Did anybody watch Deadpool? And all the cameos that were in there? Channing Tatum, Wesley Snipes, yeah, Jennifer Garner come back as Elektra. Thanks for your question, Madhawk. Would you ever try working with Spitfire Audio or Audio Imperia products? Yeah, I mean, if the instruments sound good. Once I looked up some reviews and some demos on Cinematic Studio Strings, and that's why I got Cinematic Studio Strings. I thought that it sounded so real, plus the romantic style of mine. Because yeah, earlier you guys asked what would I like to score first? Probably a drama, just because I love Superman, I love impact and like really high velocity stuff. But I consider myself weaker in that area than writing some kind of sentimental love theme. I think I'm better with that. Thanks, Pawan. I love your music. I'm glad I found your channel back when DC Studios was gearing up for a new era. Yes, yeah, you've been one of my faithful listeners. And like I said, I've got some listeners that were really, really faithful that were commenting on my stuff consistently, and then they kind of dropped off. So I don't know if they just hate what I do now or or not. They probably don't hate it, but people are busy. Yes, the Deadpool and Wolverine movie was amazing. I thought the score was all right, but still, yeah, I thought it was pretty good in the places like where it used, I guess that Madonna song with the choir. But I thought that the music surrounding that scene at the very, very end with Wolverine and Deadpool actually sounded really, really good. It was, in fact, the song that I just played for you guys, where it gets like really big. I imagine that that would work well in that scene where Wolverine's claws go and then go into the those two things, and then their clothes just go. Yeah. Let's see. Abbey Road One Orchestral Foundations is one of my favorite plugins, so I would highly recommend it. If it's too much in price, I would recommend the scoring selections on Spitfire Audio. Maybe I could look up some demos of that and see. I would also love to get connected with people from these different companies so I could test their products and see if it works. I'd love to see you break down. Yeah, yeah. I want to. So I was telling them a little earlier, Abe, that that some of my live videos I could go into how I score something from start to finish when I sit down. How do I come up with an idea and build on that? Let's see. What's the project you're working on now? I saw you post both Batman and Supergirl stuff alternatively. It's whatever hits me. I'll be driving around or something, and an idea, a melody hits me out of nowhere, and so I'll pull up my phone and I'll record in the voice memo so I don't forget. In fact, my Superman stuff, I can trace these ideas back to just a voice memo of me going like da 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 da, and recording it so that I don't forget it, and then I come in later and lay it down. That's actually how I record. That's actually how I write some of my stuff. But project, yeah, I'm working on Superman 2025. Still doing some Supergirl stuff, and eventually I'm going to honor my daughter's wishes and start working on some Avatar 3 stuff. Avatar 3. In fact, James Horner is one of my greatest influences, and when he died, I actually cried. I miss that guy a lot. I love his stuff. Braveheart, Bicentennial Man, Casper, Five Goes West. I mean, James Horner wrote some gut-wrenching songs, and I love it. And the beat drop when Wesley Snipes showed up. Yes! So my wife has actually encouraged me to write some kind of beat style music. I've dabbled a little bit, but I love film scores so much. But yeah, in film scores, sometimes you have beats, sometimes you have drums and stuff. So I branch out of that comfort zone of staying with cinematic stuff for people like Abe here, where I've like done guitar and drums and bass and actually kind of break out of my normal. But yes, the beat dropping in that was so awesome. That's interesting. I've heard musicians often say something similar. You have a great voice, by the way. Oh, thank you. So I lead worship at my church here. I lead from the keyboards, and I lead with my vocals as well. Have you ever listened to John Pisano's Maze Runner soundtrack or Marvel Spider-Man? Yes, Marvel Spider-Man. In fact, Danny Elfman did the one with Tobey Maguire, at least the first one, and I really like that. Danny Elfman also did the first Hulk with Eric Bana, I believe that's the actor's name, and I love Danny Elfman, as I kind of talked about him a little earlier. But Maze Runner, are you talking about the... Oh, I was thinking of Blade Runner. But yeah, I've not heard Maze Runner, actually. Look at the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Oh yeah, I like Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse is actually, I like those first two movies to come out. I really do. And I thought I wasn't going to like it that much because it was animated, but very unique animation, and I like the music in it. One day I might drop some stuff. I just didn't want to lose my film score audience if I start doing stuff with beats in it, thinking that they're like, oh, I don't like you anymore because you're not doing movie scores. But movie scores also have beats. So. All right, well, I just hit an hour, guys. I'm going to head off here. Did you guys hear that? Oh, similar to John Williams? That's awesome. Yeah, I need to get off because I still need to work on this song, Steel versus Steel. I'll timestamp everything. I'll go back and listen to this, and then I can that way if you guys want to go back and listen to it. All right, one more question. One more question. Do you think you would do a very short Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom score, like a reveal when he removes the mask for the first time? I can see how you would do it, and I think it would be great. Yes. Yeah. I've been doing a lot of DC stuff, but I am not just DC. I love Marvel. I really do. Captain America. So Superman's my favorite overall character out of any universe, any comics. Superman. Number two, I'm going to say Captain America from Marvel, and number three would be Iron Man. In fact, I cried when Iron Man died. Yep, I'm a big wuss. Is that another one? Yes. So the Steel versus Steel is Superman 2025, but I'm trying to connect the dots. So I started recording this song from like the near the end. So it's annoying as a composer. I don't start a song always from start to finish. Sometimes I come up with an idea and I'm like, wow, this sounds like a big climax of a song. And then guess what? Robocalls. I'll get really excited, but then I have to come up with a beginning and a middle next. And sometimes I'll release teasers for you guys, and it's from an unfinished song. Like the Steel versus Steel that I showed you guys a few days ago, that was the middle the ending pretty much that I had composed. Well, now I have to finish the song. So I got the intro done and the middle area. That's what I play for you guys live. And then I'm going to keep working on it. So I'm going to head out, and thank you so much for watching. And we'll do some more lives later, but stay tuned. And if you haven't done the notification bell to let you know when I've released something new, definitely do that. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Now, how do I end this thing?